Good evening, Melanites. I am your host, GT, and this is another segment in Innovative Black Stations Connecting the Dots, where basically we bring everything full circle within our community. My co-host is not here today. Prayers up for my co-host, Kimmy Coco. We're going to get it to Let Me Put You On Game, and today we're going to put you on game about Mr. Tyrese Gibson. Of course, you know Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce in the Fast and the Furious series, as well as a platinum-selling artist, but lately he's been in the news in regards to the rants he's been doing on social media. And reason behind his rants is because his ex-wife and himself are having a custody battle in regards to his 10-year-old daughter, Shayla. Now, if a lot of you don't know where this basically generally started was a couple of weeks ago where he had a banner fly over her school where he said, "Despite what your mother says, Shayla, I love you." You think about it, being a 10-year-old kid, you have something like that go on at your school, and then you have gifts constantly coming in at the school. It could be a little bit overwhelming, especially when you got your friends and classmates around you. Definitely understand the gesture, him trying to show himself as a good father, but I think like a lot of us know, it's a lot more to what's going on than what's being said. Also did want to let you guys know some other things that's going on with him in the media is his altercations with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Of course, they're going back and forth, reason being because Tyrese started off in the beginning of the Fast and the Furious series, and he feels like The Rock should not have an expansion off of the series due to The Rock not being one of the original characters. But if you're really understanding behind the production of the Fast and the Furious and the position that they're going in, his character was basically revolved around Paul Walker. Of course, Paul Walker, RIP, is no longer here with us, but they're trying to move it into more so of an action type of thing versus on the scale of cars. Tyrese, honestly, I can honestly say I feel like it's more to it than what's going on or what's being portrayed in the media. And I honestly think that it's a cry for help. I mean, we are making memes about it and, we are making comment about it, but I really do think the brother needs help. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show.
Can you really trust him, though? Do you think, because the movie is coming out soon.
Right.
Like just in entertainment in general, let's just take rap. People start beefing around the time that they movie is coming out. They say all publicity is good publicity.
True. But he not making no revenue off that movie. That's all The Rock and Jason Statham. No, because 9's not coming out because they making a spinoff.
Also,
with just The Rock.
Had another one coming out.
Yeah, it's not gonna have nothing to do with Fast and the Furious. It's basically a spinoff with telling The Rock story and Jason Statham, the transporter guy.
I thought so they stopped the production for the 9?
They basically pushed it back. So basically, that movie's coming out in 2018. I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically The Rock's spinoff of it. And then in 2019, Fast 9's supposed to come out. So from my understanding, they're supposed to go up to 10, and I'm assuming they're going to stop. With the Fast series, and basically what they're trying to do with this expansion is they just trying to make it more so on the action side. Okay. So you may see Vin Diesel in it. They may get more in depth about Vin Diesel's story of it. But like I was telling people, as far as Tyrese, his character as Roman Pierce is pretty much disposable at this point because Paul Walker is no longer here. Like, what can you really do, if you don't have, the bread and butter of the series?
So you think he might be in his feelings because of that?
Absolutely. That has a lot to do with it. But my thing is like y'all was a family. Y'all built this whole thing, this whole family thing. And for you to, to come out in the media and do that, I think you kind of going against the code. Like, I feel like that's something that y'all should handle behind closed doors. I don't think it's something that should have been expressed to the media. But another funny story, a lot of people don't know the reason why he got blackballed from Transformers was because he tried to get buddy with Michael Bay, and in 2012, according to the Urban Daily, Michael Bay actually had a restraining order on him, which is why he's missing in some of the Transformer movies, which is why he's not in all of them. But I know he was in 5, but he actually begged to get in 5, and I remember when he was sending out tweets begging Michael Bay to put him in. And of course, Michael Bay, a couple years had done passed on, and he let him get in the movie and things of that nature. But I just think that Tyrese's time in Hollywood is up. I think so. I think so because he keep getting blackballed. You got something to say, brother?
Think about it too. What big role has Tyrese really had?
He's never really had a big role.
That's what I'm saying. Like, was he really a factor in Hollywood?
He really wasn't a factor, but I think they were trying to get him to that point. But I think he got the big head. He got the big head at some point. And I mean, another thing I did want to talk about, I do know that he had a child custody abuse case going on as well, and that just got dropped over the weekend, before the weekend actually came as well. So I just think that a lot of it has to do with him crying out for help. That's really what I think it is. I think it's a cry for help, and I think somebody close to him really needs to speak with him and tell him to stay off social media and, you know, handle his problems, you know. And, you know, me being a father myself, you know, I'm going through some of the same things. Like, I put myself on child support. You know, I put all that stuff into motion just so that way, you know, things like that won't happen. And my thing is, if you really love your child, you're not going to get on social media and you're not going to do things like that. Of course, you got to abide by the system. But at the same time, you got to be a man. I understand. I mean, I'm not saying it's not okay for a man to not cry. But what I'm saying is it's a time and a place for all that. And I feel like, you know, if you get on social media and you crying on social media, then you got enough time to suck it up and handle that shit with your ex-wife. Like, y'all can sit down and y'all can talk it out. And my thing is, I'm all for fathers being fathers to their kids and things of that nature. But at the same time, we don't know his story. You know, you was married to this woman. We don't know if he was cheating on this woman. We don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. You know, we don't know what he was doing behind closed doors, if he was hitting this woman or anything. So we can't necessarily say, you know, it's wrong for her to feel that way, or it's wrong for him. I just honestly think that the man need help. He really need help, and somebody need to reach out to him